Hello, G4G fans. It is Napalm Don here on YouTube. Today, we're going to take a look at my reaction to the Borderlands movie trailer. Now, in the interest of transparency, I have seen this trailer several times now, so it is going to be a planned reaction. This isn't like a live or virginal kind of interaction that's going on over here. I have seen the trailer a few times. So this is just simply my take on it and my opinion, having been a Borderlands player. So a little bit of background before I get into the trailer and my take on it. I've been playing Borderlands since Borderlands 1. What was kind of interesting was at the time I was faced with the pre-order of either Borderlands 1 or the rather notorious Aliens Colonial Marines. I knew I was going to order one of those two games and then kind of wait and see how the other one worked out. And it just so happened that Borderlands was the one that I pre-ordered. And when the news started to come in about Colonial Marines, I was like, oh God, I hope it was Borderlands that I ordered. And then it was. So I've been a Borderlands player ever since. Borderlands 1, 2, pre-sequel, 3, and then Tiny Tina Wonderlands. The only Borderlands games that I have not played are the Tales from the Borderlands series, and I even played I feel like there was a Borderlands mobile game, but I might be confusing that with the Evolve one. There was one for Evolve, but I also yes, there was Borderlands Tap. Yes, several years ago I did actually do a Borderlands mobile game back in the day. So I've been a pretty big fan of the series for some time, starting off on the Xbox 360 and then eventually moving over to the versions that are on Epic. So that's my base there. I've played several classes, done several playthroughs. Borderlands 2 is probably the one that I have played through the most. As pre-sequel, I wasn't too fond of, and after finishing Borderlands 3, there was just so many other games to play. It was hard to focus on that one, to go through and do other, like True Vault Hunter mode and Ultimate Vault Hunter mode consistently over there. And then Tiny Tina, I shared that one co-op with my girlfriend. That was her first Borderlands game that we had played, and we played that together in the same room. And then Borderlands 1, I was playing co-op on the Xbox 360 with a friend of mine. So let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, and I'm going to dissect it from my perspective a little bit.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
So right there, great reference to stairs from Borderlands 2. Obviously, that's a ladder and not stairs, but fun little reference there.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe. God, I hate this planet.
Typical great Gearbox humor there in that whole segment. Just watching that part makes me think of a lot of the jokes that Gearbox manages to put into the Borderlands game. If you never got to play it back in the day, there is the Battleborn game. It is coming back to a certain degree. There is a way that if you at least had owned Battleborn in the past, you can continue to play it. The PvP element of it, or the multiplayer online element of it, is not available, but you can do the story and the missions and everything through some means. There is a video of that on my channel, how to get that done, but you can play Battleborn, which really does feel like it's in the Borderland universe, but so far from what I've seen just up until that point, Love it. When I see Kate Blanchett, I get very Hella vibes from her there as Lilith, more that version of her than, say, Galadriel. Um, Jack Black as Claptrap seems a little bit tame there, which is good. And we saw Roland and Tiny Tina and Krieg. Now, Krieg in Borderlands 2 is somebody that I wasn't particularly familiar with, as I do admit I never got around to playing him when he got released. However, I did do the add-on for him in Borderlands 3, the clusterfuck one, and you do get to go into his mind. So that's where I learned the most about him, but I don't have the biggest amount of knowledge when it comes to Krieg the Psycho.
What is that smell?
Piss wash gully.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to!
Roll the window up!
Roll it up. It's Pete. It's Pete. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did I get the name?
It's in my mouth!
So that sequence there is funny. However, I feel like this trailer overall seems very tame when it comes to Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina is a complete nutter. I mean, do you happen to remember Edward from Cowboy Bebop? Tiny Tina is that kind of crazy, but with a maniacal, not sadistic nature, but in a way sadistic because she likes violence and explosions and everything. I never view her as hurtful. Like, she doesn't seem mean-spirited. She just seems to be extremely energetic and enjoying what she does. In this sequence, I sort of feel like there's some Tiny Tina that could have gone a little bit further. Like, this is Tiny Tina on a 6, maybe a 5. And the Tiny Tina I'm pretty much used to, with the exception of when she is sad about people passing. A little bit more on that later. She always tends to operate somewhere between 9 and 11 on the scale of 10. And this seems kind of tame for her, from what I've seen so far, and just the trailer in general. Good car, infinity pistol. Love the nods to the game there. That is pretty much how I envisioned a infinity pistol would look if it was actually a real gun. So 10 out of 10 on that one.
Do you know how many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay, what?
Major issues.
You have a midget for a Roland. That's what you have. We'll do that after we get through the trailer here, but okay, honestly, I have an issue with Kevin Hart as Roland. The stature is not there. I'm not saying Roland needed to be played by The Rock. I've seen some people talk about the fact that they thought it could be like maybe Idris Elba would be a good person for it. However, some people have begun to take umbrage or offense that the trailer is showing people not in the right age group. That Ariana does seem a little bit old for how I envision Tiny Tina. However, Tina does age throughout the series a little bit, so that is appropriate. Jamie Lee Curtis being Tannis, I don't have an issue with. Jamie Lee Curtis is a phenomenal actress. She is more into these types of things than you think. There's always been a long-standing set of knowledge that, at least in the better days of Blizzard, she would go to BlizzCon incognito. She would be cosplaying, she'd be in an outfit, and if you've ever been to a BlizzCon, especially if you go back to the ones prior to the pandemic, you may have walked by Jamie Lee Curtis, and a daughter or son, I forget, one of her children also goes. You might have been by the greatness that is Jamie Lee Curtis and might not have even known it. So her inclusion in this, I think, is great. She had a great turn in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I am not really that concerned about her looking too old to play Tannis. To me, Tannis is a little bit more of a minor player in things until Borderlands 3, where she gets, powers and everything like that. I'm not that concerned with Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis. I think it'll be good. Although Tannis has her very unhinged moments, like the chair, the ceiling chair, and everything like that, and seemingly inventing people to talk to. But the real mania obviously goes to Tiny Tina, and I think the age is just about there on that one. Honestly, the age is not really my concern in this. So far, my biggest issues are Tiny Tina a little bit and Roland. Kevin Hart as Roland he's too diminutive of a person to play Roland, but we'll get around to that.
Time to make it rain with your body parts.
Okay. Perfect example of what I mean about Tiny Tina. Good nod to the Crimson Lance there. Tiny Tina saying time to make it rain with your body parts. We obviously know that had this been in the game, she definitely could have said that first part that way, time to make it rain, but that body parts line would have been very, very gravelly in the voice, very haha, maniacal, almost Mark Hamill Joker-esque. There would have been an edge to it, a harsher edge is the best way that I could describe it. I mean, if you know Tiny Tina, you know what I'm talking about. She goes from sort of a sing-songy voice to that boom. She dives into the character in the second part of phrases like that, and she doesn't do that there. And that is sort of what makes me become a little bit skeptical on how this actress is going to pull off Tiny Tina, because Tiny Tina is crazy and sort of like Heath Ledger is the Joker and everything. You need to have a certain crazy edge to pull this off.
What did I tell you?
Minimal explosions.
I said no explosions.
Step aside, bitches!
So, Claptrap could have easily been voiced by the person who did Claptrap in the games, because Claptrap is a mechanized unit. You could have had that done. You didn't necessarily have to get Jack Black for that one. The problem is the original voice actor for Claptrap had a very public falling out with, of all people, Randy Pitchford, and he got replaced in the more recent games. So I think you can go through 1, 2, and 3, and Claptrap's voice actor is the same. And I believe he was actually just like an employee that got tapped to do it. And there was some issue between the two of them, and he was terminated. So it is kind of a shame that we don't get the original Claptrap actor in there. If I'm going to truly like that performance, I think I want like 90% Claptrap and maybe about 10% or so Jack Black. I don't have anything against Jack Black Peaches. There's some people who think like Jim Carrey's over the top. I've always loved Jim Carrey. There's some people who think Jack Black could be over the top. Family Guy sort of spoofed him at times. Like, look at me, I'm Jack Black, I'm crazy guy. I generally like him. However, there are strong emotional ties to the Borderlands series, having played them for so long. and becoming so familiar with the characters, you really get a mental and visual idea of what you want the characters to do and everything. So to see them totally come to life like this on a live action thing, it is going to go up against a set of expectations where I think Claptrap looks phenomenal. I think I want to hear more classic Claptrap and a little less Jack Black. Perfect. That is a perfect rocket launcher for Tiny Tina there. That reminds me of the Bouncing Bunny rocket launcher that is modeled after Tiny Tina in the games. That's really spot on there. So I think they did the rocket launcher well, the vehicles well. The Infinity Pistol is iconic. I'm so glad that is included in this trailer and seems to do a pretty good showing there.
Mine's bigger.
I needed a gun, so you asked for it.
There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh.
Kill them all.
Moxie, glad to see it.
What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Ooh, actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really ready?
So in this scene, that's more like 60% Claptrap and 40% Jack Black over there. So I like how he's represented here more than the bitches moment where he flips the guys down the hole. So I actually, this makes me more interested in seeing how it gets pulled off, because I saw one that I was like, man, I don't like this one as much. And then I see this one and I feel it's more Claptrap than the other one. So that intrigues me.
First finish.
Keep looking out.
Okay, here's this is where I had to stop it. Look at Kevin Hart and look at Cate Blanchett. This is really, really hard for me to wrap my head around this, and I'll show you the counter example in a little bit. So, okay, Eli Roth, of course, phenomenal. Overall, the trailer gives me a very Guardians of the Galaxy vibe with the soundtrack and everything. The colors, the presentation of the trailer, the humor being so forward in it and everything. I do want to see the movie. I was always going to go and see this movie regardless of what was going to happen because of my love for the Borderlands series. My likes and dislikes are the vehicles look great, the guns look great. Cate Blanchett for Lilith, the Siren, interested in seeing that. Jamie Lee Curtis for Tannis, interested in seeing that. You don't get that big of a feel for Tannis in this, so I want to see what they do with her in the movie, and if they tap into that really very crazy, demented part of Tannis. Tiny Tina seems very, very subdued from the Tiny Tina that I'm used to. Also, visually, with the difference in the hair color and the eyebrow color, it's a bit jarring considering how I'm used to envisioning Tiny Tina from the games and everything. And I'm sorry, it's not because he's short. It is not a shortism kind of a thing. It's his appearance for Roland, just I have issues with, because this is Roland, by the way. Spoiler for Borderlands 2. This is a major plot point, but okay. Kevin Hart is pulling off the outfit well, and just sort of from the upper body to his head, he gets the Roland look. But again, he is a little slight. He's not quite as broad as Roland, and he definitely doesn't have the height of Roland, which makes it a harder pill to swallow here.
Warrior, we got the vault key, but this isn't over yet. We gotta find Jack and take him out. Lilith, take the vault key to Tannis.
See, and look at that size difference between the two of them there. That's Lilith. That's Roland. Look at that, where basically his chin is equal to her eyebrows, and then you go back and look at this, and his eyes are equal to her shoulders. I mean, you could say, like, this is a really, really stupid thing to care about. You're really harping on a minute thing, and I get it. It's, again, this isn't a book where you've invented how these characters can look like, say, Dark Tower. You sort of mentally get your own images of what Roland is going to look like and everything. And then, of course, the movie came out. So your expectations are set because these characters have existed, sort of like the World of Warcraft movie.
I'm going after Jack. So,
that's Handsome Jack with the mask on his face, and the plates and the bolting work look like it's trying to hold the mask onto his skull. If that one person in the trailer who says kill them all is Handsome Jack, I feel like if that is him, then they didn't do enough, because Handsome Jack has a very, again, unique set of visuals, and that is not what that guy looked like in the trailer, provided that guy in the trailer is going to be Handsome Jack. So here's Tiny Tina and how we first get introduced to her in Borderlands 2.
All around the stack, just plant. The stalker chased the bandit. The stalker thought 'twas all in fun. Goes the bandit. Oh,
See, what she did there is the perfect example of her vocal cadence that she does when she's excited.
I still owe him for all that butt crap with General.
And everything. She's all over the place in her vocal range and her volume and everything, but she often accentuates physical moments with a pop, and she gets gravelly with it and everything. I didn't see that from Ariana in what we've seen so far. So that, again, that one might be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow there, is her representation of Tiny Tina and his representation of Roland. Now, the beret, the outfit, even the slope of the shoulders is certainly spot on. It's just the height and being a soldier, epitomizing a typical soldier character. You sort of think he's going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit broader. Moxie, Moxie is one of those ones where they think they really need to knock it out of the park on that one. Not because she's always the sex pot and the cleavage and everything Moxie related is always sexual and everything like that. We've seen some cosplayers over the years really, really nail Moxie and make it look like this person could be the model that Moxie was based on. Like, I've seen cosplays to that level. I used to just randomly see him on Twitter. Moxie, I think they're going to have to get done well. And I have tons of questions like, will we see Dr. Ned? Will we see the people like Zero and Mordecai? Mordecai was an NPC at this point in Borderlands 2. Zero was a Vault Hunter. Would we see Brick coming up from Borderlands? Because, Roland was the playable character in 1, but then he was an NPC in 2. So it's going to be really interesting to see characters bought. Like, are we going to get Catch a Ride guy? Are we going to get Scooter looking the way he is? Are we going to get Scooter's sister? And how are they going to do that visually? So this does make you it's a perfect little teaser. It is a 3-minute nugget that is going to draw you into the universe with some really obvious characters that you're going to know, you're going to identify, and then just small enough nuggets of other people like Moxie, potentially Marcus in there, potentially Handsome Jack in there, that make you go, yeah, if I don't see another trailer before the movie, I'm going to go see this movie because I want to see who's there and I want to see what they do with these characters. And I want to see the plot. Is it Borderlands 1 plot? Is it Borderlands 2? Is it sort of somewhere in the middle? So my intrigue is definitely up. I definitely want to see it. However, I kind of side-eye Kevin Hart as Roland. I side-eye the Tiny Tina actress, Ariana, over there. Those ones have a little bit of my interest. Like, I don't know how they're going to work out. But the rest of it seems phenomenal so far. Looking at the hair on Cate Blanchett, that's spot on. Krieg looks great over there. I have no expectations for what Krieg sounds like because I'm not really used to hearing him other than that one DLC and everything. And I'm pretty sure Jamie Lee Curtis is going to pull off Tannis well. It's just whether or not they write the characters the way we sort of expect them. Are we going to see pure mania out of Tiny Tina? Are we going to see, mania coming out of Tannis and the side of Tannis that was just very off when we first get introduced to her and everything? So what do you guys think? Do you share my opinions? Are you super interested in seeing the Borderlands movie? Are you a Borderlands player? And have I had any takes in this that you think are just completely ridiculous and just way off base? Definitely let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video, guys.